2020 has brought with it a lot of crazy changes. This has brought with us the kind of surprises we've probably not seen in so many years since our childhood. And as they say, nothing is permanent in life except change. But certain changes can be very uncomfortable. And I think this is going to be the first generation of children that would have seen remote learning.
Through the Parent Engagement Project, which was essentially small groups or focus groups of parents with children from various ages and nationalities gathered together online, we get a lens into their experience, we get to hear their narrative, and we get to learn about what was happening in their lives.
And really, ultimately, the hope is that these voices gathered through this project are a reflection of what many of our families experienced and felt over this school year during what is currently an ongoing and truly extraordinary period of time.
The purpose of the Parent Engagement Project was to build community through conversation, listen to family experiences in virtual learning, learn how parents' view of school is evolving, and celebrate our stories, to hear our narratives, to hear parent voices.
The definition in my head went from, it's sort of like running outside versus running on a treadmill. And running on a treadmill, it gets the job done. You still get your muscles exercised, your brain exercised, maybe to a certain extent, but it's not the same as running outside, feeling the ground under your feet and the smells around here. It's a bit intense, and other kinds of things when you go running. So, I mean, it was good for me to keep that in my mind, that we weren't trying to mimic the same thing, because I'm not sure that it actually is possible. And so it was good to put my mindset in that area.
I think nobody expected it to last this long. And I know that it was really challenging at first to get it right. I think the balance for middle school, and from my experience in middle school and high school now, I'm very happy with what they've got, what they're learning. As horrible as it has been, there's a certain resilience that I think they will have acquired, even us.
You know, a big experience for me was I think I had started the process of letting my child be independent, and you know, he was growing up, he's 11th grade when this all started, 10th grade, and I think we went a little bit backwards, because I felt like I suddenly became his personal assistant, as if somehow it reflected on me poorly if he was tardy, or, you know, not on the video, but just had his name up or something. And you know, if he was on campus, I wouldn't know if he was tardy or, you know, paying attention and focus, but it felt like I had more responsibility for that. And
pouvez propulser en étant prof. Moi, je suis pas née prof, c'est un vrai métier. Et accessoirement avec ces enfants, où on pète un frein. Nous, ça nous a fait totalement vriller. Mais moi, enseigner du phonique à un enfant, alors que je suis pas anglophone, je sais pas faire. Et j'ai hurlé, mais...
Our virtual learning journey has been a little bit like this. You know, really nice highs, but some real lows as well. There's quite a big age gap between my children. There's 5 years, so one's in EY4 and one is in grade 4. We've got the responsibility for the development, we've got the responsibility for the academic development, for the social and emotional support that we need to give them, and then obviously keeping them healthy, keeping them active, feeding them good food, and then also keeping that connection with the kids. All I seem to talk to them about recently in the last couple of months has been schoolwork, and it's been, you know, have you done this? And, you know, you should be in a meeting right now, sort of reminding them of all of these things.
So I realized that my daughter was not doing her goals, but mine. And I had to learn that she needs her own goals and not mine goals. So I had to, you know, take a step back and just check if she did the work. And that it took a while for me to accept that, because it was not my job, but her job. And slowly, the process went in my mind, and I was just, okay, it's okay if she give back an homework not perfect. It will be the way she can do it, which is good.
月曜日に出された金曜日までの課題を、やる。あと授業がある、ミーティングがある。それをこなしているっていう形ですね。なので、私が特に何をやるという形ではなくて、朝ごはんを作る、お昼の時間にお昼を、で、休み時間におやつ食べるんだったらどうぞという形で、あんまり私がサポートすることはないんですが、たまに急にちょっと科学とか物理とかの実験が入ってきて、今仮住まいなので、例えば測りでも何でもなかったりとか、物をちょっと計測したいとか、ろうそくとか買ってきてくれとか、そういうのが突然ちょっと起きて、そういうのがちょっと大変だなとは思うんですけれども、基本的には、特にやることはないけれども、一緒にちょっと実験をちょっと手伝うことができたりとか、学校でこんなことやってるんだなっていうのを少し。
I think the big eye-opener for me in all this has been to realize how different kids are and how different they handle these things. I have 4 kids, and I must say that I have definitely learned a lot of things about how they learn, and it is very different from what I thought it would be.
In August, AISC started again, and we could join that. She was so delighted, and I was relieved. And I was very worried to start middle school by virtual classes, not only virtually, because that was our first time to join middle school in American school. We didn't know what it's going to be like. So I set it up her desk in a living room so that I can be around all the time and see how she's doing. And she felt it safe that mom is always around and have someone to ask. So that went very well.
I did ask my son, like, what is it that he likes the most about his classes? And being new and not knowing anyone or meeting anyone. And he is more of an introvert to begin with. So it's been difficult to sort of even build a relationship through Zoom. But so he has enjoyed the collaborative learning, or when they break out into little groups, or any group project that he's a little more open or a little less shy when there's more students to work out. So I'm glad the teachers are doing that. Right.
High school works on a 2-week module, so I think our emotions run on a 2-week schedule. The first Monday of a module is always sometimes tears on my part and just a feeling of overwhelmed or nervousness, because you get those lists of everything that you're going to have to do for the next 2 weeks, and they're always manageable, but when you see it all on that first Monday in a module, it can feel like a lot. But I will say that I'm really proud of my son. I feel like he's doing well, especially this semester. There's a lot more synchronous meetings that he has to track and be in and, engage in, and he's kept up his engagement quite well, and is showing up for the things and doing that.
It's sort of a balancing act for me, and trying to figure out this is an unusual time, and maybe like we need to approach it from an unusual way. My son is very active, and it's not going to work that gracefully for us to start online at 8:45 in the morning and finish online at 3:15 in the afternoon. And there are sessions, sprinkled throughout the day, and they're incredibly thoughtfully planned. And there's some that are artistic and some that talk about feelings, but it's still a lot of screen time.
We were the kind of family before we would prefer the kids to not have screens all the time, and my 6th grader didn't have access to you know, she got her first computer in January. So that was like a big deal. The world, you know, was open to her suddenly over the internet, and then COVID hit. And I think she's having a really hard time now, like balancing, I could do my work, or I could like watch animes for 3 hours. And so there's that where I think it's really tough to handle that, the devices right now. I wish I could just turn them all off and not have them do any homework or anything.
So I have fourth grade now, a daughter, and we are in Korea. We came here in May. My daughter is especially very independent. She's quite well, but the only thing I'm worried about is social connection. Here, she does not go to any Korean school, but just stay home and watching a laptop all day. And sometimes I ask her, please stop and please get out with me. But she refused to do that. She only, working on with laptops.
Ils ont acquis une certaine autonomie en étant à la maison. Il y a aussi le fait qu'ils sont seuls.
I think we've tried to find social contact for them in other ways. I know Ingrid, for instance, meets up with friends that have left the American school, and I think together with Heidi also, and Nora, a student that left for Switzerland, and Avery, who left for the US, they all get together on online gaming and they talk together. So I think that is helping out.
大丈夫です。今日のご気分はいかがですか？
大丈夫です。
もうシェアリングに入りたいと思うんですけども、まず私がこの間最初に1回目にやったシェアリングでどんなことを自分が言ったかっていうのをさらっとお話ししてみようかなと思います。私の場合はこの半年ぐらいをどう過ごしていたかっていう話をしたんですけど、まず3月にロックダウン入った時点で娘がもうプレイグラウンドで遊べないということをすごく悔しがっていて、エレメンタリーの子供しかプレイグラウンドで遊べないので。
In regards with the social interactions and being on the playground, I think that's a really big thing. I was very worried how they would create these new connections when moving into, I had one moving from middle school to high school, and one from elementary to middle school, and one moving from kindergarten to first grade. And I was quite worried on that part, but I must say again, it has worked way better than I thought it would be. With creating new social interactions. So my youngest daughter in first grade actually said that, she was listing her best friends, and one of her best friends was a girl she never met in physical life. She's never been with her face to face. We never had one-on-one sessions, but she was listed as her best friend. So I think that was really great.
バーチャルってことはもう本当に何ですかね、もう英語できちんと伝えないとお互いやり取りができないっていうことで、会話量はすごく上がったのかなって感じはします。なんか英語力はちょっと本当にバーチャルのおかげでちょっとは伸びてるんじゃないかなっていう風な、ちょっと親から見てそんな風に見えます。
L'avantage de ça, c'est que nos enfants auront appris à maîtriser l'outil informatique très jeunes. Ils seront très, très forts. Ils vont être capables de nous sortir du codage, de l'IP du haut de leurs 5 ans, et on se dira.
People have lost too much actual learning, and I think we've managed to maintain the learning here, and I think that's the most important, whether it's virtual or not, we have been able to maintain that level.
For us, that the school provided that was amazing was we were in the States up until recently, and there was a coordinator specifically for the kids in the States. And that resource was fantastic. She was great for the academics, but truthfully, that was like my son's little social world. He loved those morning meetings. It was his little learning pod, and it was actually a really intimate group. He really felt like he had community. And for me as a parent, that's what I care about with the Zoom stuff and the online stuff. I'm like, I want him to feel like he has some social world and social outlet.
I enjoy being with my girls and being around my girls, and I miss them when they go to school anyway. And maybe I'm a big dork, but I don't care. And so I think we have become such a unit during this. We had, my mom passed away, we lost a pet. It's just been a really, we've really held each other together and held each other up. So I think that when they go back to school, that I'm going to miss them so much. So just the physical, hanging out, being able to flop down next to them and just kind of hang out, you know, during the day. See, oh, what you doing? You know, can't do that. Can't, you know, not the same if you text it.
I think one of the things, no, there are actually two things I will miss a lot about this. One is being there when they have these eureka moments, when they figure out something, or I got this, or when they're super excited about something. And also, I think my kids have actually tried a lot to help each other out. I mean, I don't speak any French or any Spanish, so I'm kind of lost when they have both languages. But my high school will step in and help my elementary kid with Spanish. And yeah, so they're kind of working together across the sections in certain points. And I think that's super nice.
I'd like to thank each and every one of you who obliged our call when we saw a need to hear your voices. Your candid reflections, eagerness to share your struggles and triumphs with virtual learning, and the positivity and hope that you brought to these conversations has been invaluable. Open dialogue and sharing of ideas and information in a safe space is especially important at a time such as this. It is with pride and gratitude that I can assure each member of our parent community that our school is that safe space where you can speak freely and where your honesty is valued greatly. After all, when we stop sharing, we forget. These insights that you have given us, glimpses into your lives as parents, guiding your children through the uncharted waters of virtual learning, are heartening. This engagement is proof of the fact that it's not just our students who are staying resilient, courageous, and empathetic during this time, but it's you, our parents, who are living our mission. I thank you again for your voice, for your immense empathy, patience, and hopefulness. We're in this together, and we couldn't have made it this far without you. Stay safe, stay well, and be kind. Thank you.